Hello, Happy New Year and welcome to another edition of the Big Arsenal Discussion. I'm your host Giles and joining me are regulars Amanda from the Gooner Girls podcast. We've got Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV and also regular on Arsenal Fan TV Fan Talk, we've got Mo Hader. Hello Mo, how you doing?
Not too bad,
Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Alright, so let's talk about what's happened recently. I think it's been a great weekend. It's been a great few weeks in the Arsenal stratosphere. We'll start with the recent form. Amanda, I'm going to come to you first. How have you found it? What's been the most amazing thing for you that's, in this sort of recent upturning form?
Well, I think it started at Stoke. I thought when we played Stoke at the Emirates, we were brilliant that day. The problem was we didn't get the credit we deserved because it was Stoke. Any other team, we would have got credit. So that carried on then, didn't it, to City? Oh, it was just brilliant. Man, it was just brilliant. It was just the perfect match, perfect tactics. I thought we made subs at the right time, although I'd have taken off Ramsey a little bit early. I was a bit concerned about him. And as you all know, I wasn't sitting with the Arsenal fans.
She's sitting in a box.
All right, Robbie. All right. I was taking...
Prawn sandwiches.
Didn't have any prawn sandwiches.
Corned beef sandwiches up north.
I was opposite where all of you were. So Monreal was running towards me when Company took him out, and definite penalty. But anyway, I just think the form's been superb. I just think tactically we sat back, we were disciplined, we were everything we've been screaming for, weren't we? Just you could not. There's nothing I could fault about that match at City. But Stoke, we weren't far off as well. I know it was Stoke, but we took the game to City. We were disciplined, as I said. I like Ospina being in goal. I have quite a lot of faith in him. It's just brilliant. I mean, Coquelin, revelation, and Cazorla, completely man of the match. Completely run the show. Just brilliant.
Mo, let's go to you. What's your assessment been?
Yeah, I think what it has shown is that, there's this whole AKBA, all that rubbish that everyone knows about. But the one thing that the majority of Arsenal fans are united on is the fact that we all wanted change. And I think in this month we have actually seen that change, and that was very striking in the Man City game. But, for me, it actually goes back further than just January. I remember saying to you, Robbie, when we lost to Stoke, that for me that was a blip. That I actually thought before that we were on good form. A couple of games, I think we ground out a couple of 1-0 wins, and I felt like that was the blip. And then, I questioned that conclusion when we lost to Southampton, because I thought, well, is this another blip? You can't keep on saying it's a blip. But I really think that we did start showing the signs of a bit of consistency and a bit of good form, and now that's coming through. Personally, I'm not surprised, because Arsenal always go on a run. Every single season we've all put a string of results together, and this is it. And we're making the most of it. The game against Man City is kind of the icing on the cake, because as good as a run you might go on, unless you do it against a team like Man City, or like that team that get knocked out against Bradford, their name doesn't come to my mind, you get questioned. But I'm glad that we did it and we put some of the doubters, to silence, really.
No, it's the same thing. I mean, the Manchester City game was amazing. I think it's a bit of a turning point, because the fact that we've not gone to Manchester or any of those sort of stature of clubs and got a victory for such a long time, and it was the manner of the win, the fact that it wasn't a lucky win. It wasn't we were hanging on. It was comfortable as it can be. We controlled the game, and it was so good to see. And I just think Coquelin, like Amanda said, he's been a revelation. He's just given us what we've been screaming out for in that middle of the park, that stability and discipline. And I also think, as well as Cazorla, Alexis Sanchez, I think he's inspiring the team. He's closing down. He's all action play. I don't know, he's just inspired the team, and now you're right, we always tend to go on these runs because we get confident, and the confidence is flowing. We saw it against Brighton, off to a great start, and another factor is we've got players coming back. Ozil back on Saturday, Walcott coming back, with all these guys, we're going to play them all, which is a good problem to have, and even strengthening now the back, what we should have really have done in the summer. I mean, we're looking up, and I just hope that they can really push on from this, and let's have a good second sort of part of the season.
Sorry, it's going to be an issue, isn't it? We're talking about the players coming back. You've got Ozil, you've got Walcott. You can't drop Cazorla. You've got Alexis, can't drop Alexis.
You can't drop Oxlade-Chamberlain either, really, can you? He's been playing brilliantly as well.
He would be one.
Whose position would you say is the most precarious? out of that triumvirate?
I'd say it's Oxlade-Chamberlain
Yeah.
purely because he hasn't got Enio at the end of his name. And I know that sounds strange, but it really is a thing in football where if you've got a fashionable name, if you look at Louis van Gaal, you look at David Moyes, one is much easier to sack. And that really does play a part. And I think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will be the one to go. But it's interesting that you say you can't drop Cazorla. I fully agree with you, but that's not necessarily what everyone thinks. You know, Ozil, that name carries a hell of a lot of weight, and there's people that are steadfast in their opinion that if he's available, you pick him.
I'm one of those.
For me, though, I'm not. For me, it's all about the form. I personally don't care if Akpom is performing better than Sanchez. You put Akpom in the team. You don't play players on reputation. You play them on form. It's a mistake that England have made many for years and years, and I don't want Arsenal to make the same mistake.
But we'll see Sunday, won't we, against Aston Villa what he does, because Cazorla is on form and Ozil scored. I'm not, you know. So what's he going to do? And it's a lovely thing for us to have.
Exactly, yeah.
But I feel, and you know how much I adore Ozil. You've got to build the team around him. But then we got Cazorla, and this. Then you think back, we got Jack who's injured. Where's he? It is,
and he's coming back soon as well.
Yeah, sooner than was expected.
And then you've got Thomas Rosicky, who's playing, like you said the other day, like a 17-year-old.
Where's Ramsey fitting?
His love, isn't it?
You know, the one player you won't drop, I can just name him, is Coquelin. It's the one player. Him and Alexis will be first on that team sheet. There's first and second, if you know what I mean. But it's wonderful. It was wonderful that he rested on Sunday, and then he puts Theo and Ozil in.
And do you know another amazing thing is that players that were getting a lot of stick at the start of the season, and Monreal's the guy I'm thinking of. Yeah. He's playing at the moment. I can't believe that I think that he should be starting ahead of Gibbs right now. Because he's been playing, he's playing so well.
To do with his spelling centre of defence.
I think it has, yeah.
Raise his awareness of
yes, I think it has.
He's not great in centre of defence.
The thing is, when he played in when he played there at first in centre of defence, he was a disaster.
Yeah.
But he has sort of even grown into that position, and he doesn't really have the height and that, but his interceptions there, his tackling there, his strength there has been. I've been quite impressed with it. It's just he hasn't got the size really to play. Like with the big ball.
And an example of that was against Gomez, against Swansea.
Yeah.
He just got bullied off the ball. There was no chance in hell, unless he's an NBA player, that he's going to get up that high. There's some things you can't do. And really, he should not be put in that position. What he can do, he's actually done quite well. And the good thing about him is that he hasn't actually done anything. No one's talking about him anymore. We've brought him up now saying that, he's actually done quite well. Arsenal fans generally, we need a scapegoat, I feel. And, at one point this season it was Arsene Wenger, at another point it's Chesney, another point it's Monreal. But no one's talking about him anymore. And that's a sign that he's doing his job well.
Arsenal fans don't want a scapegoat, Mo, though. They don't want a scapegoat. We want this. We want this discipline. We want players improving. We want players coming back. We want Arsene Wenger playing the proper tactics that we needed. So I don't agree with that we want a scapegoat. Unfortunately, we had one, and it was him.
I
don't want a scapegoat.
We nominate a scapegoat when we're going through a bad time.
Exactly that,
nominate?
Well, one always seems to come up.
Yeah, and the thing is, when you're going through a good patch, there's no need for a scapegoat. As soon as it's a bad patch, none of us are objective enough to say it will happen in a season. You will have a bad game. Stoke away, it was just madness. Everyone went absolutely mad. We conceded after 24 seconds. After that, tactics go out the window. No one actually says, you know what, it's just a one-off. It happens to be against Stoke again. They have got a formula against us, but in the course of the season, it is just a kind of a one-off. People go mental and they need scapegoats. So not that we want one, but I do think we do nominate one.
The other thing I would say is that, and I've made this point I think in other shows, is that it shows when you've got your full squad or near to your full squad at your disposal, it makes a massive difference. We even saw with Chelsea against Bradford, where they've brought in players from the squad, that they suffered. And we've been having that all season where we've had to be bringing in Monreal, playing there, loads of players out of position. We haven't had a steady team. And recently we've had a sort of steady team. Koscielny's come back. Corzola's made that position his own. Guys have known that, they're going to start, and, they've known their jobs, and it's been really, really good. And let's just hope we can keep players fit.
I think he put an unnecessary pressure on our defence, Wenger, by not buying.
Yeah.
He put unnecessary pressure on Monreal, and I wasn't a big fan. And again, I hold my hands up. I think most people weren't. There were people that rated Monreal, but he has vastly improved and done very well for us. But he has put that pressure on us. I'm not, listen, we don't know what happened, why he couldn't get a defender. We don't even know if he went for a defender. Now he's bought one. So hopefully takes a bit of pressure off Koscielny, because I was surprised he played him at Brighton. I thought he was injured. But he's carrying an injury. But you know,
just to add weight to what you were talking about, Robbie, in terms of consistency of a team and having everyone available and that sort of thing, this season in the top European leagues, Real Madrid have been fantastic, went on that winning streak. Chelsea also, credit to them, they have been actually very good. And out of all the teams in all the top European leagues, them two have got the most consistent team that goes out on the pitch, and that's no coincidence. Absolutely. And now that we have actually got all of our squad fit, we can get that first 11 with real competition for places and rotate when we need to rotate. And in terms of rotation, Arsene Wenger got the balance bang on against Brighton, while some other managers got it
He's
wrong.
done it a couple of matches now, he's got it bang on. He's done it a couple of matches.
Credit to him.
That's been a big Arsenal discussion. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you leave your comments in the box below.